Hello friends, welcome to the video lessons on electronic measuring instruments. In today's class, I am going to discuss about design of a multi-range ammeter using arc and shunt, precautions to be taken while using an ammeter, and we'll be discussing about the basics of DC voltmeter and what is a series resistor used in DC voltmeter and how to extend the range of the DC voltmeter and few design examples on multi-range voltmeters. Before that, let us try to recollect what we discussed yesterday. In yesterday's class, I explained about the basic PMMC movement, its construction, principle of operation, and how it can be used for the measurement of very low levels of current and how its current measuring capacity can be increased by using a shunt resistor. And we have seen a circuit to implement a multi-range ammeter. That means a circuit used to measure currents of different range by using a range switch. This is the basic DC ammeter arrangement, and here as you can see a shunt resistor is placed in parallel to the basic d'Arsonval movement. When a current I is applied, out of that current I, a fraction of current ISH will flow through the shunt resistor and IM will flow through the basic d'Arsonval movement. Here IM is nothing but IFSD, that is the full scale deflection current of the movement. If the current flowing through the d'Arsonval movement exceeds this IM value, then the coil used in the d'Arsonval movement may get burnt out and the instrument gets damaged permanently. In order to prevent excessive currents flowing through the d'Arsonval movement, a very low value of resistance known as shunt resistor is placed in parallel to the d'Arsonval movement, and that is called as a shunt resistor. RSH is shunt resistor. RM is the internal resistance of the moving movement, and of course I is the total current to be measured. Now as can be observed here, V shunt is equal to me movement, that is whatever is the drop across these two terminals, the same is the drop across these two terminals also. So ISH into RSH is equal to IM into RM. So RSH is equal to IM into RM by ISH. But we know that ISH is equal to total current I minus IM. So the expression for shunt resistance can be simply written as RSH is equal to IM RM by I minus IM. Now, if I take RM, sorry, if I take RSH to the right hand side and I minus IM by IM to the left hand side, we will get the expression as I minus IM by IM is equal to RM by RSH. I minus Im by Im can be split into two fractions as I by Im minus 1. So the equation can be written as I by Im minus 1 is equal to Rm by RSH. Taking down that minus 1 in the left hand side to the right hand side, the expression can be rearranged as I by Im is equal to 1 plus Rm by RSH. Now here the ratio of total current, that is the total current I, to the movement current, that is Im, is known as the multiplying power of the shunt. So I by Im, I is the total current divided by Im is the meter current. This is equal to the multiplying power, and it is represented by a symbol M, which is equal to 1 plus Rm by RSH. Now rearranging this, we can arrive at RSH, that is the shunt resistance, is equal to Rm by M minus 1. Rm by M minus 1. The same can be derived from here itself. When I take Im to the denominator, then RSH is equal to Rm by I minus Im by Im. This I minus Im by Im can be written as I by Im minus Im by Im. Im by Im is of course 1. So the expression is RSH is equal to Rm by I by Im minus 1. And we know that I by Im is the multiplying factor M. So RSH is equal to Rm by M minus 1. The same is the expression here. So using this also we can calculate the value of shunt resistance easily, knowing the relative magnitudes of the total current to be measured and the full scale deflection current of the meter. Now, what are the properties of a shunt resistor? Main properties of a shunt resistor are: first one, the resistance of the shunt should not vary with time. This is very important. We are using shunt resistance to bypass majority of the current in order to prevent damage of the basic PMMC movement. So the resistance value used for shunt should be stable over a long period of time and should not vary with time. Second one, temperature coefficient of shunt and instrument should be low and should be the same. That is, the temperature coefficient of the material used for coil in the basic PMMC movement, and the temperature coefficient of the material used for shunt should be close, or if possible should be same. In that case, then the effect of variation in temperature will not affect the design of the DC ammeter. Here, let us see a simple example. A 1 milliampere meter movement, that is Im is given as 1 milliampere with an internal resistance of 100 ohms, that is Rm is given as 100 ohms, is to be converted into a 0 to 100 milliamps ammeter. Now here the full scale of the DC ammeter is 100 milliamps, and the full scale of the basic PMMC movement is 1 milliamp. So I is 100 milliamps and Im is 1 milliamps. Multiplying factor here is 100, isn't it? So multiplying factor M is equal to 100. Then calculate the value of shunt resistance required. The given data is Rm is 100 ohms, Im is 1 milliampere, and the total current I is 100 milliamps. And we know the expression for shunt resistance RSH is equal to Rm by M minus 1. As I told already, M is 100, that is I by Im. I is 100, Im is 1. So I by Im is 100. And of course Rm is 100. So 100 by 100 minus 1, that is 100 by 99. You will get the same expression here also, that is equal to 1.01 ohms. So please observe here, we are using a basic PMMC or D'Arsonval moment having an internal resistance of 100 ohms and full scale deflection current of 1 milliamp to design a 0 to 100 milliamp DC ammeter. So in this case, out of 100 milliamperes, 99 milliamperes current should be bypassed through the shunt resistance, and only 1 milliampere has to be allowed to the basic PMMC movement. So obviously 1 part through the basic PMMC movement, 99 parts through the shunt resistance. So naturally the shunt resistance should be almost 1 by 100th part of this one, that is almost 1. When the shunt resistance is 1 by 100th part of this, that is at least at the maximum 1 or 1.01, then only 99 parts will flow into the basic, into the shunt resistance, and 1 part will flow into the PMMC movement. But of course the scale for the PMMC instrument is designed for 0 to 100 milliamps only. That is when 0.1 milliamp flows through the basic PMMC movement, the movement produces a proportionate deflection on the calibrated scale, and the position at which at which the pointer shows the calibrated scale will be marked as 10 milliamps. So for zero point 0.1 milliampere current flowing through the basic PMMC movement, if it moves by 1 unit, naturally the scale will be calibrated into 10 main divisions and each division will be calibrated into 10 subdivisions. So here, using this setup, suppose if 0.5 milliamp currents flows through the basic PMMC movement, then the scale will come to exactly the center of the meter, indicating that the current flowing through the circuit or through the DC ammeter, including the shunt resistance, is 50 milliamperes. Out of 50 milliamperes, 49.5 milliamperes flows through this 1.01 ohms and only zero point 0.5 milliamps will flow through the basic PMMC movement. So that is the basic concept. Now, a multi-range ammeter. This circuit also we have seen in the last class. A multi-range ammeter circuit just like this, having a DR-Sunwell moment with an internal resistance of Rm and with full-scale deflection current as Im. Using a range switch and 4 different shunt resistors, it is converted into a multi-range ammeter which can measure currents in 4 different ranges. In the first range, it can measure current say I1, second range say I2, third range I3 and fourth range I4. And in all the cases, the principle is the same. Suppose when the switch is connected to RSH1, then what is the value of RSH1? Now RSH1 is in parallel with Rm. So obviously RSH1 is equal to Rm, the internal resistance, divided by multiplying factor, that is I1 by Im. I1 by Im, that is given as M1 minus 1. Similarly, when the switch is in position 2, the shunt resistance RSH2 is equal to Rm by M2 minus 1, where M2 is I2 by Im. Second one is I2 by Im. When the switch is in third position, that is when the switch is connected to RSH3, the expression for shunt resistance is RSH3 is equal to Rm by M3 minus 1, where M3 is equal to I3 by Im. When the switch is connected in fourth position, that is when the switch is connected to shunt resistance RSH4, the expression for shunt resistance is RSH4 is equal to Rm by M4 minus 1. What is M4? M4 is I4 by Im. The formula to calculate the values of shunt resistances is very simple. Only thing is we should know the multiplying factor. Multiplying factor is nothing but the full scale current of the DC ammeter divided by the full scale current of the basic PMMC movement. Here a simple example is given. Design a multi-range DC milliammeter with a basic meter having a resistance of 75 ohms and full scale deflection current of 2 milliamperes. So Im is 2 milliamperes, Rm is 75. Now what do we have to do? We have to do a design to use this basic PMMC movement as a multi-range DC milliammeter for the ranges 0 to 10 milliamps, 0 to 50 milliamps, and 0 to 100 milliamps. So what is the given data here? Im is 10 milliamperes, Rm is 75 ohms, I1 is 10 milliamperes, I2 is 50 milliamperes, I3 is 100 milliamperes. I'm sorry, here there is a print mistake. Im is 2 milliamperes. Im is 2 milliamperes. That is why I'm wondering, I1 and Im, how it could be the same? Im is 2 milliamperes. So now applying the formula for finding out the shunt resistances in different ranges. First, for R1, it is IMRM by I1 minus Im. So that is 2 into 75 by 10 minus 2, 18.75. You can use the formula here as Rm by M1 minus 1. That also can be used, where M1 is nothing but I1 by Im. That is, this Im is brought to the denominator, and the denominator is separated into two fractions. I1 by Im is written as M1 minus Im by Im is 1. So R1 can also be written as Rm by M1 minus Im. For 50 milliamperes range, that is, R2 corresponds to the shunt resistance used for 50 milliamperes range, that is the middle one, is equal to Im Rm by I2 minus Im, that is 2 into 75 divided by 50 minus 2, that is 3.125 milliamperes. You can see here, as the range is increasing, the shunt resistance is decreasing. In the first case, it is 18.75. In the second case, it is 3.25. Now let us see for 100 milliamperes. R3 is the shunt resistance corresponding to 100 milliamperes range, and its value is IMRM by I3 minus Im. That is 2 into 75 by 100 minus 2. That is 1.53. This is how we design a multi-range ammeter. But here, as I explained in the last class, there is some problem with this circuit. This ammeter uses a multi-position make before break switch. This type of switch is essential in order that the meter movement is not damaged when it change from one resistor to other resistor. If we use ordinary switch, the meter remain without shunt when we change from one resistor to other resistor. That is, during the transition time, when the switch is moving from here to here, this uh, basic movement remains unprotected. In order to prevent that, make before break type of switches are to be used, which increases the cost of fabrication, of course, and which needs periodic monitoring of the switch also. That is why this type of arrangement is rarely used in the design of multi-range ammeter. Most practical type of design for a multi-range ammeter is using a universal or Orton shunt like this. Universal or Orton shunt like this. This is the arrangement. This you can see here, the range switch is connected to position 1, 2 and 3. I1, position 2 here and position 3. Between position 3 and ground, the resistance value is R1. Between position 2 and ground, the resistance value is R2. Between position 1 and ground, the resistance value is R3. Now, when the switch is in position 1, let us suppose that the switch is in position 1. In that case, total resistance R3, that is R1 plus R2 plus R3. Okay, let us take this arrangement. Here it is more clear. When here it is clearly shown that this portion is resistance Ra, this portion is resistance Rb, and this portion is resistance Rc. When the switch is connected to 10 amperes position, or let us start from 1 ampere position. When the switch is connected to 1 ampere position, then these three resistors, that is Ra, Rb, Rc, all three are in parallel with Rm. So the moment requires 1 milliampere for full scale deflection, and the remaining 999 milliamperes current is to be bypassed through the shunt resistance, that is Ra plus Rb plus Rc. So Ra plus Rb plus Rc into 999 is equal to 50 into 1. 50 is the internal resistance, 1 is the current, the Im value of the meter. So this is 50 into 1, which is equal to Ra plus Rb plus Rc. Rewriting that, taking that 999 to the denominator here, it is written as Ra plus Rb plus Rc is equal to 1. Now, in 5 amperes range, as you can see, when the switch is in for 5 amperes position, Rb plus Ra are in parallel with Rc plus Rm. So now in this case, the total current is 5 milliamperes. Out of 5 milliamperes, only 1 milliampere current has to flow through Rc plus Rm. The remaining current, that is 4,999 milliamperes current has to flow through the shunt resistance, which is nothing but Rb plus Ra. So we get the expression as Ra plus Rb is equal to Im, the full scale deflection current, that is 1 milliampere, into, now here in parallel, I mean in series with Rm, Rc also is there. So here it is Rc plus 50 into I, that is the drop across this position and this position, that is Rc plus Rm into current flowing in this direction is Im, that is 1, is equal to, across the same two terminals the drop would be 4,999 into Rb plus Ra. That means Rb plus Ra into 4,999 is equal to 1 into Rc plus Rm. Taking this 4,999 to the right hand side, we will arrive at the expression Ra plus Rb is equal to 1 into Rc plus 50 by 4,999. Now, let us take the third case, when the switch is connected to 10 amperes range. When the switch is connected to 10 amperes range, now you can see, that is in this direction, Rb plus Rc are in series with Rm, and only 1 milliampere current has to flow in this direction. The remaining 9,999 milliamperes current has to flow through Ra. So what is the drop across Ra? Drop across Ra is 9,999 into Ra. That is equal to 1 into Rb plus Rc plus Rm. Now I take 9,999 to the right hand side, and the expression can also be written as Ra is equal to 1 into Rb plus Rc plus 50 by 9,999. Let this be equation 3. Now solving these three equations, we can arrive at the values of Ra, Rb and Rc. There are three simultaneous equations in Ra, Rb and Rc. Solving those three simultaneous equations, we can arrive at the values of Ra, Rb and Rc. What are the three simultaneous equations? Ra plus Rb plus Rc is equal to 0.05. Ra plus Rb is equal to Rc plus 50 by 4,999. Ra is equal to Rb plus Rc plus 50 by 9,999. These are the three simultaneous equations. Now, rearranging equation 2, that is taking 4,999 to the left hand side, I can write it as 4,999 into Ra plus Rb is equal to Rc plus 50. And expanding the left hand side of the equation, 4,999 Ra plus 4999 RB minus RC is equal to 50. Let this be equation 4. Similarly, rearranging equation 3. Here there is a mistake. It is rearranging equation 3. That is this one. 9999 is taken to the left hand side. So 9999 RA is equal to RB plus RC plus 50, and taking RB and RC also to the left hand side. 9999 RA minus RB minus RC is equal to 50. Let this be equation 5. Multiplying equation 1 by 4999 on both sides. This is equation 1. RA plus RB plus RC is equal to 0.05. Multiplying both sides with 4999, we get 4999 RA plus 4999 RB plus 4999 RC is equal to 4999 into 0.05. This can further be simplified as 4999 RA plus 4999 RB plus 4999 RC is equal to, the product of these two is 250.2. Let this be equation 6. Now subtracting equation 4 from equation 6. What is equation 4? Equation 4 is this one. Rearranging equation 2, we arrived at equation 4. 4999 RA plus 4999 RB minus RC is equal to 50. This is subtracted from equation 6. So equation 6 is this and equation 4 is this. Because we are subtracting, we have to change the polarities here. Plus becomes minus, plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus, and plus becomes minus here. So RA part gets cancelled out, RB part gets cancelled out, RC part is 4999 RC plus RC, that is 5000 RC, is equal to 250.2 minus 50, that is 200.2, which implies RC is equal to 200.2 by 5000, that is 0.04 or 0.04 ohms. RC is 0.04 ohms. Now, to manipulate equation 1 and subtract equation 3, what we have to do? In equation 3, we have got the term 9999. So multiply equation 1 with 9999 on both sides. We will arrive at 9999 RA plus 9999 RB plus 9999 RC is equal to the product of these two, that is 9999 into 0.05 is equal to 500.45. Now what we have to do? Obviously, we have to subtract equation 5 from equation 7. When we do that, RA part gets cancelled out, RB part will be summed up Here this is plus, not minus. So this is 10,000 RB plus this is 10,000 RC is equal to 500.45 minus 50, that is 450.45. So the equation here is 10,000 RB plus 10,000 RC is equal to 450.45. But we know what is RC. RC is 0.04 ohms. Substitute that here in this equation. When I substitute that here, 10,000 RB plus 10,000 into 0.04 is equal to 450.45. So 10,000 RB plus 400, the product of this comes out to be 400 is equal to 450.45. Taking 400 to the right hand side, 10,000 RB is equal to 450.45 minus 400, that is 50.45. RB is equal to 50.45 by 10,000. So it comes out to be 0.005 ohms. Now we know the value of RC, that is 0.04. We also know the value of RB, 0.005. So substituting these two in the equation 1, RA plus 0.005 plus 0.04 is equal to 0.05. Now 0.04 plus 0.005 comes out to be 0.045. So the next equation is RA plus 0.045 is equal to 0.05. Taking 0.045 to the right hand side, RA can be written as 0.05 minus 0.045, that is equal to 0.005. So what are the values of RA, RB and RC by solving three simultaneous equations in RA, RB and RC? We arrived at RA is equal to 0.005 ohm. RB also is 0.005 ohm and RC is 0.04 ohm. Now that is another example. We have seen two types of multi-range ammeters. The first one is a simple arrangement in which every resistor is connected separately using a range switch to the basic PMMC movement. But that circuit is rarely used because we have to go for make before break type of switches. The most practical type of design is the design of multi-range ammeter using arc and shunt. And we have seen a practical design example also. Next, what are the precautions that are to be taken while using an ammeter? Ammeter basically is connected in series with the load. That is, if you want to measure current flowing through any part in a given network, we have to open the network at that point and we have to connect the meter in series and we have to measure the current flowing through that part, or which is called as load. So while doing so, polarity has to be taken care. Polarity has to be taken care. Always a DC ammeter has to be connected with proper polarity. That is, positive of the ammeter has to be connected to the positive terminal in the network where it is broken or where it is opened, and negative terminal of the ammeter is connected to the negative portion of the network where it is opened. By mistake, if the polarity is reversed, then what happens? The pointer tends to deflect below zero. Zero is on the extreme left hand side end. When the polarity is reversed while connecting the DC ammeter in the circuit, then the pointer starts moving below zero, which is not possible. Coil will be producing torque, but there is a mechanical stop in the meter body preventing the movement of the pointer to move towards left. As a result, what happens? The control springs get damaged over a period of time. If it is repeatedly done, the control springs get damaged. So in order to prevent that, always connect the DC ammeter with proper polarity. Next, when a multi-range ammeter is used in a circuit, when a multi-range meter is used, we do not know what exactly is the amount of current flowing through the circuit. So always we have to connect the multi-range switch or the range switch of the multi-range ammeter in its highest current position, so that if at all very high current is flowing through the circuit, the device does not get damaged. Highest current range means very low value of shunt resistance. Most of the current would be bypassed, only IM will be allowed to flow. Suppose if the current is not high, then we can gradually decrease the range of the multi-range ammeter in order to have better accuracy of measurement. Generally, accuracy of measurement in any meter would be only after half scale deflection. That means when you are connecting a meter after half scale deflection, you will get more accuracy. But below half scale deflection, the accuracy will be somewhat poor. Not in the case of DC meters generally, but even then, to have better accuracy of movements, better accuracy of measurement, it is always advised to use the meter which is close to the parameter that is flowing. Suppose if you are using 0 to, suppose when current is flowing, uh, when the current flowing through the circuit is say 9 milliamperes. So if we, to measure that current, if we use a meter having a range of 0 to 100 milliamperes, the pointer will show very low value of deflection. very low value of deflection, and the accuracy of measurement would be very low, because in 0 to 100 milliamperes what happens, as I told already, every meter will be calibrated into 10 main parts and 10, 10 main divisions and 10 subdivisions. So if you take 0 to 100 milliamperes meter, one main division corresponds to 10 milliamperes. That is 100 milliamperes by 10. So one main division corresponds to 10 milliamperes. And one main division further is divided into 10 subdivisions. So each subdivision corresponds to 1 milliampere. Now, when we are using 9 milliamperes, so when we are using 0 to 100 milliammeters DC ammeter to measure a circuit current of 9 milliamperes, just imagine that the pointer would be just below the first subdivision, because the first division is 10 milliamperes. The pointer will be at ninth subdivision. Now we cannot differentiate between ninth subdivision, that is 9 milliampere and 10 milliamperes. Suppose if the current is 9.3 milliamperes, in that case, using 0 to 100 milliamperes, we cannot differentiate what is 9 milliamp and what is 10 milliamp. 9.3 cannot be identified. On the other hand, if we take a 0 to 10 milliamperes meter, then each division corresponds to 1 milliampere. Each subdivision corresponds to 0.1 milliampere. Now just imagine where the pointer would be if the current is 9.3 milliamperes. So the pointer crosses 9 main divisions and 3 subdivisions, each subdivision corresponding to 0.1 milliamperes. You can measure the value accurately using a meter which is close to the actual value of the quantity being measured. So that is the reason uh, why it is advised to decrease the range gradually to the lower value. Initially, we connect the multi-range ammeter range switch to the highest current position. Then gradually we have to decrease the range switch position to the lower ranges, so that the pointer starts moving towards the full scale deflection end. Then we can get more accurate values. That is possible because each subdivision value will be lesser in the lower range and each subdivision value will be higher in the higher range. We cannot differentiate small variations in either currents or voltages when we use a meter having high range. We have to select the meter appropriately depending upon the magnitude of the variable that is flowing, the variable in the sense either current or voltage. Accordingly, we have to select the meter. So this is all about ammeters and precautions to be measured using ammeters. Precautions to be taken while using ammeters. we'll discuss about voltmeters in a time after some time.